Hello everyone. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. I'm Irene. Welcome to the YouTube channel. So in today's video, we will be learning how to make this beautiful kente beading. Okay, it will be in two sections. There will be a separate video for the down section, the slits, and there will be a different video just for the up section because of the techniques that was applied here. So stay tuned. Diving right into it. So these were the materials that I used. I used Bicones, I used fishing wire 3.5. Yes, I use my bead and spin. Yes, it is a must. It helps you to achieve a lot in the shortest possible time. And hey, not forgetting my needle. This type of bead and spin is available and selling. Kindly send me a message on WhatsApp. The link will be in the description to place an order. Hurry up and place an order now. And I also use this Bicones, the Ash Bicones. Yes, so first of all, I cut the Bicones from its original strips and I poured it into my bead and spin. Bead and spin is a must for every beader to have or a fashion designer to have. It helps you to achieve a lot in the shortest possible time. It just makes the work so easy, so relaxing, and so comfortable. Okay, I started by passing my thread through with the needle. Okay, I didn't divide it into two exact parts. I didn't cut it. I always say this. I will definitely be explaining the reason why I don't cut my thread, so stay tuned to get all the gist and all the secrets you need to know when it comes to this beading section. Okay, this beading. So I was using this a specific number of Bicones. I used 2 each on each bead I made. I used 2. I just wanted to have this uniformed, look. So that was what I did. You pass your needle through your kente, pull it up. I didn't cut the thread. There's no need for you to cut the thread at this moment. Okay, but make sure you have enough that you can work around. Be careful that the thread that you're getting out will be able to maneuver your way around it. Make sure you can control the thread. Don't let the thread control you, because if the thread controls you, it takes a whole lot of time. Okay, so kindly put that in the back of your mind. Get amounts that you can maneuver your way around. Don't get a thread that is too longer that can control you. The moment it starts controlling you, you're going to waste a lot of time detangling and tangled threads. And that is not what we are in for. We want to make sure that we finish early, we can knit to wax. That is what we are hoping to achieve. Yes, you pick 2 beads, okay, pick 2 Bicones, sorry. You pass it through your kente, as you can see here. Here in this distance, the spaces was quite very closer because I just wanted to give this, fully packed beaded kind of just, so I just didn't make the spaces too big. I made that very, very, very limited, very, very small. Yes, and that was what I maintained throughout the whole of the beading. I made sure that the spacing I was leaving in between was extremely closer to each other. I mean, like the inches in between was an exact. I tried my best to make sure that the inches was quite exact. So that was what I was doing here in this section. And yes, you make sure you have to be pulling the thread, okay, your fabric. Make sure that it doesn't become too tight, because the moment it becomes too tight on your kente, it just gives it a whole different outlook. It gives it a very, very messed up outlook, and that is not what you're aiming to achieve. We want to make sure that our thread is relaxing, our beads or Bicones are relaxing on the kente or the fabric we are working around. So try your best to make sure that you maintain that. Okay, make sure you be pulling them to make sure that there's no tight or no force between the beads. Okay, so make sure that they are relaxing smoothly on the fabric. Okay, so that is what I was doing. I made sure I picked 2 seed beads, passed through the kente with a specific inches that I was trying to maintain here. Yes, that was what I was doing. You pick your 2 Bicones, you pass through your kente like you can see here. Yes, you pick your 2 Bicones, you pass through your kente as you can see me doing here. So when it comes to this section, when I was actually moving to the other lane, okay, I was making sure I was moving in the lanes on the kente pattern, you know. So I actually passed it and went on the other side of it. If you could see what I did, yes, I passed it through it and then went to the other side. So I did the same kind of beading at that same section, and I made sure that this beading was guiding me on the inches I was getting, because I made sure I could get the same effect here. I didn't want it to look too padded and too small, so I made sure that the spaces were even, and also the number of beads I was using was consistent. It was just 2 Bicones that I was using here. Okay, yes, so that was what I was doing here in this section. Kindly do send me a message on WhatsApp. I will be leaving the link in the description, despite the fact that the number is on the screen now. The link will also be in the description, so you can definitely click on it and send me a message. Was what I was doing throughout. Kindly make sure that you watch till the end to get all the gist and all the information you would need. If you have any comments, kindly drop them in the comment section. So that is how it is looking like now. I continue to do the whole front section of it with the same pattern. Yes, so I was following the same patterns I was getting in the kente, because the kente, it comes, you know, is onion toma woven fabric, so there is these patterns that naturally it gives out. So sometimes that's what I do. I just use a pattern in the kente, even though it's a plain kente, but I can still see the patterns. So that was the patterns I was using to guide me with this beading. Okay, the pattern, like the real pattern kente, also has to, when you're doing beading on it, it also has to be followed based on its patterns and colors. But the plain ones also comes in its own patterns. That is one unique thing I've noticed about kente. Every kente has a unique pattern, or I would say every kente weaver has a specific pattern they follow. I don't know, that is what I see, so that is how I go about it. Okay, so this section I was getting some of the ash Bicones because I wanted to give this effect at the down section. Okay, so these sequins too, I used this longer sequins too, I used it to create this, you know, kind of fringe effect at the down section of the kente bodice. So the down section, that was what I did. I just wanted to give it this fringe effect and wanted it to connect with the down of the kente, so I tried to make sure that ash would be present here in the upper borders, because the down borders basically had 2 different patterns of kente. Okay, and I had to wrap my way around to make it sure it connects with the upper section, and even the down section even had to connect by itself. So I tried to make sure I could get one common thing that was in the 2 kente patterns at the down section, I mean the slit, so that I could make it present in the upper section as well, and then it would get that section. So here in this section, I was putting the crinoline on top of it. She just wanted a specific pattern, so this was the reason why I wanted you to stay around and see what things that went on. She wanted a specific pattern, and then the sketch I did and sent her, she was fine with that. So that was what I was trying to achieve here in this section. Okay, that was what I was trying to achieve here in this section. You can see me pinning it to the kente, and these are some of the reasons why I don't cut my threads. Okay, when I'm working on projects, I try my best not to cut threads and be tying them so many times. Okay, so here in this section, I use the crinoline and the soyable bone. That was what I used here in this section. So I was trying to cover up with it. It was quite longer, so I did a little bit cutting on it so that it would look quite shorter for me to actually get the neat finishing I wanted here in this section. So that is what you see me doing here. Yes, I was trying to make sure that it had that unique and neat finishing. Kente actually comes out like it removes as a gentleman, I mean woven fabric, so you have to try your best to make sure it is in line. So these are the reasons why I don't do cutting of threads. Okay, so here in this section, it is the same thread that I was using for the beading that I'm using to attach this to the kente. Okay, so that is what you see me doing here. I'm hand sewing it to attach it to the kente. I didn't use the machine here because beading had already been done, and also I just wanted to have this natural look on it, so I didn't want to use a machine where it would force it to lie down and give me different effects. I just wanted to have this natural standing, natural crinoline, like hard soft effects, wavy effects. That was what I wanted, and this is it. It is the same thread that I used to attach the crinoline to the kente. That's the same thread I'm also using for the upper beading like this too. Okay, so here in this section I followed a specific pattern that I wanted that effect on, so that is what you see me doing. I'm making sure that if she is quite far, you can see the details of the ash. Okay, you can see the details of the ash, so that is what you see me doing with this section. Okay, I'm actually beading the ash to it, and I'm adding it to the tip to follow a specific pattern, so that even if she's afar or she's near, you can still see the effect of the ash in it. That is what you see me doing here. Yes, and it is always great to make sure that you follow the patterns of your beading, or the patterns of what you're working around, to be able to get the effects you want. You don't force anything when it comes to craft weld or the beading weld. The tension was extremely higher when I noticed that like there was quite folds in it, so I had to make sure that I release some of the threads so that I could get what I wanted. Okay, so that is what you see me doing here. Did you get it? This is the reason why I don't cut them. Okay, so if you could see what I did, I just picked one of the ends of the threads I was using for another thing, and I just directed it to where I wanted it to be directed. So I used a singular thread to make ties. Okay, so I tie it on the kente, not inside the kente. It's a corset, and there's gonna be this force when we are tying it, and if we tie it inside, it will be poking the client. So this is how I tie it, and yes, nothing shows that there's been a tie there. Nothing shows that there's been a tie there. So that is what I do. This was how the inside was looking after I was done with the beading. You can see a single thread inside. That is what I wanted to achieve. But hey, if you are a beginner, don't stress yourself. You're gonna get to try some other time. Yes, this is it. Kindly do contact us for your corset kente. We work on that. We do the beading. So if you have beading that you want to be done for you, bring it along. We will do it. If you have a kente that you want it to be sewn for you, bring it along. We will do that for you. So this was how it was looking like at the end of the beading. You can see that there are threads still hanging around. That is what I do. I don't cut them. If the need arises for it to be used, I just direct it to where I want to use it, and then I use it. Okay, so this was how it was looking on the final fitting of the client. Hey, don't forget, I will be uploading the second video, which will be the beading of the slit. Yes, there will also be a video about how the whole thing was done, the construction behind the scenes will also be uploaded, so kindly do stick around and check the description for all the links. Thank you so much for waiting till the end. Hey, don't forget to watch one of these exciting playlists. Kisses, XOXO.